The owner called me recently and asked me to spruce up the center planting. We'll show you that center planting and all the plantings we did here at Saizon Restaurant. You can get some ideas on design, on tropical plants, on plants in containers, and on designing around patios. So let's go check it out. Right in the beginning here, we did a little narrow planting along the edge of the patio that's just doing fantastic. And it's really just two plants, Dianella and Rucelia St. Elmo's Fire. Both of these plants are appropriate because it's a Mexican style restaurant with really kind of elegant Mexican dishes. And this, I think, gives the right feel. In fact, Rucelia St. Elmo's Fire is native to the Southwest. These olive trees that you see here, we added. They were pruned so that you can kind of see through them and so that we could plant under them. The idea is to make it look lush and try to pick things that look appropriate for the style of restaurant that it is. Here you can see this row of, I see it has some suckers we need to get rid of. This row of Tango citrus, we want those to grow up a little taller so that you can see them out of the restaurant. So we just did the planting right along the edges of the patio. Let's go in and talk about the inside and talk about this planting that the owner would like to improve. Hi there. A fan of Chip's. You know, this is like one of the rare times that Chip's not here because he was going for a walk with my wife. So I wish he was here because Chip likes to see fans. In the restaurant itself, it has a lot of pots that are watered with drip irrigation that drain without staining this nice pavers because we installed it so that the wastewater from the pots goes straight in. We just put a good potting soil in there and we used our blend and penetrate liquid biotiller. Fantastic for pots. Makes it so you never have to change the potting soil. You only might have to refresh them a little bit. These are the olive trees that we moved in, and then we planted densely underneath. With these exposures, hard to have color all the time, but we did a combination of leaf color and things like salvia, liriope, but probably even more importantly is just the rustic trunks of the olive trees. They really form the theme of the restaurant, and all of them are doing pretty well. This one particularly has lots of ginger lily growing like crazy. This was my favorite olive tree trunk, looking like it's been there about 50, 60 years, which is what they were after. We were able to do that with just a transplanted tree. What I like to do when selecting plants is put in all the parameters. And once you list all of those things, you're kind of directed to not very many plants, and then it's easy to pick one or more. This is the area that the owner wanted us to address. This is actually planted in the ground, and this is actually an outdoor patio not connected to the building. I can see some things that we planted haven't made it. Some things have leaves that don't look so good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some pruning on the leaves that don't look good, and then we're going to do some additions. I had to see it before I knew what I wanted to add, so I don't have those plants with me, but we'll come back. This ginger lily has some looking really good and some looking bad, so I'm just going to prune out the bad part. Wow, this banana is kind of, they had to stake it, kind of wants to fall over. We might put another stake on this. We want to take off all of these fronds that don't look so good. One of the things we're going to do is try to trim off anything that looks brown, and then we'll encourage new growth with the feeding. Try to get as low as you can, yeah. If the leaf, it mostly looks not so good, we'll take it off and try to get a new sprout. I think I'm going to take off this leaf here that looks more brown than green. Then I got to bring in the new plants and straighten that banana. And I think with the new plants, we can also hide everything I cut off, or most everything I cut off. Okay, we're ready to roll. Chip's waiting for his food. He ordered this interesting pizza they serve here with raw tuna. They serve absolutely delicious food in this patio. It's really a great restaurant. You should try it. Maybe you need to come to Fresno just to try Saizon. It's worth the trip. It's one of our best. So we added to the tropical mixture there in the centerpiece of this patio, one lady palm, which we shined the leaves with beer, just straight beer, just cleaned all the leaves. And that's a good way to make them look nice and shiny. And 3 5-gallon ginger lilies. That'll fill in around the bottom part. All of the understory plants that we had planted were missing, and so we're replacing those understory plants with something a little taller, which makes a really nice tropical mixture here. The design really works around that. When doing plant combinations, as I've said in other videos, we don't want it to give you a headache, so we want some continuity in the planting. We're trying to come up with a plant palette that doesn't have 30 plants in it. In these small spaces, we want to stick to a palette that's relatively consistent and simple so that it's pleasing and it's not a mess. On these plantings that we just finished, we're adding 6 pounds of blend and 1 4-gallon solution of penetrate liquid biotiller. And we're just gonna drench the whole area right before we leave. You can hear some pounding. We're re-staking the banana. In this case, the staking isn't any kind of textbook staking. We're just trying to get the banana to orient the way we want it to, and in a way where you don't see the stake. The leaves cover it, and we're gonna make it so the level of it is very low, and we pull that banana on the low part of its trunk. Most jobs like this would be overplanted because, you know, it's a restaurant. We're trying to get an instant effect, and these are overplanted, but there's nothing wrong with overplanting, especially in the beginning. It's fantastic. It might result, you know, 2 to 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe you have to thin out the plantings if everything does fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Please have other of your friends and relatives and neighbors watch more of our videos. We need more views. Chip is excited that we went over 30,000. Now we're headed to 50,000. Help us get us there. And if you want us to answer any questions, let us know.